Upon seeing Jehwan again, Miles' eyes softened with a mix of hope and desperation. She asked the officer, assigned to their rehabilitation, why she hadn't come to see them, her voice tinged with a plea. "You are a good person, Jehwan. You'll surely go to heaven," she added, her belief unwavering. Meal clutched tightly to his brother's side, his small frame trembling with fear and uncertainty about the dire situation they faced. Gangyu's voice cut through the tension like a knife, demanding their attention. "Release the people from your grip," he commanded, his tone icy. "I promise to kill you without pain." Mile, her voice quivering yet determined, asked, "Is there an option where you won't kill us?" But Gangyu's reply was as cold as steel. For those in the second basement and below, there was no choice to live. They had killed thousands. The siblings looked at Gangyu with a mix of defiance and sorrow. "You're different from the rest of your team," they told him. "You're evil and will surely go to hell." "We'll see who gets there first," Gangyu retorted, his eyes narrowing with a dangerous glint. Desperation clawed at the siblings as they tried to strike a deal. "We'll let the people go as long as you let us live," they offered. Gangyu's rejection was swift and merciless. "We didn't do anything to deserve the death penalty," they protested, their voices shaking yet resolute. Gangyu dismissed Jehwan's attempts to reason with them, calling them beasts unworthy of words. He raised his hammer, preparing to strike. "Please," the siblings begged, "listen to our story. You might understand our actions." Again, he refused them. With a flick of his power, Gangyu bound them both, lifting them effortlessly. The siblings, their faces pale with terror, called him a beast, a monster, incapable of reason. But they were not just ordinary captives. Revealing their true power, they switched places with two prisoners. The real siblings vanished, leaving the prisoners in their place. Annoyed, Gangyu killed the prisoners without hesitation, his frustration mounting. "Why do these remorseless criminals keep calling me a monster?" he muttered to himself, "when they've done far worse?" In response, the siblings summoned a host of angelic and demonic figures. Gangyu, his anger boiling over, didn't wait for Jehwan to identify the officers among them. He slaughtered all the summoned beings with brutal efficiency, his march forward unstoppable. Back in their cell, Mile directed her summoned angels to break the wall, their divine light contrasting sharply with the grim reality of their situation. Meal, determined yet fearful, summoned a horde of hideous demons to slow Gangyu down. But Gangyu was relentless. He cut through the demons with ease, his path to the siblings' cell clear. Meal's attempts to hinder him were in vain as Gangyu burst through the cell from above, a force of nature fueled by unyielding rage. "There is no point in fighting your summoned creatures," Gangyu said, his voice a deadly whisper. "I can end this by killing you both." He continued, "Release the prisoners and officers, and in exchange, I'll kill you swiftly, without pain." Mile, desperate and trembling, summoned his angels once more in a futile attempt to stop Gangyu. But with a single, devastating kick, Gangyu obliterated them all. Fear seized Mile as he summoned the officers he held hostage, his voice quivering as he commanded Gangyu to stay back. "If you don't release them, I'll kill your sister," Gangyu replied, his voice a cold, deadly promise. Meal, captured and bound by Gangyu, cried out in anguish, her tear-filled eyes locked on her brother. As Gangyu began to squeeze the life out of her, Mile watched in horror, his heart shattering. He fell to his knees, pleading, "I give up. Please, let me speak with Officer Jehwan first." Gangyu replied, "I won't stop until you release the prisoners and officers from your hold." Mile complied, releasing the officers one by one. The prisoners, however, were immediately killed by Gangyu. The officers, shocked and bewildered, questioned why a hero is here with them. "What's going on? Why are you here?" "Head upstairs," Gangyu commanded, his tone brooking no argument. After witnessing the gruesome display, the officers obeyed without objection. Mile, broken and defeated, turned to Gangyu. "I kept my word. Now you must keep yours." "Fine," Gangyu said, leading them outside to spare Jehwan the sight of the prisoners' corpses. As the cocoon opened, Jehwan, her face pale with concern, asked, "What happened?" "The siblings released the people, so the officers have been rescued," Gangyu explained. "Where are the siblings?" Jehwan asked, her eyes scanning the area. Gangyu pointed them out, his expression unreadable. Jehwan, with a desperate plea in her voice, begged Gangyu to let the siblings put on their suppression devices again. But Gangyu was resolute. "Everyone on this floor committed murder that amounts to 1,000. They deserve to die." The siblings, faces etched with fear and desperation, turned to Jehwan. "Do you really think we deserve to die, even when we did nothing to earn the death penalty?" Mile urged, his voice breaking. Jehwan tried to speak, her heart heavy with conflict, but she couldn't justify sparing their lives. The truth hung heavy in the air, an unbearable weight. Gangyu closed the cocoon once more and approached the siblings, his intent clear. Mile screamed for her brother, her voice raw with fear. "Please no." Raising his fist to deliver the final blow, Gangyu was taken aback when a dome shield suddenly appeared, protecting the siblings. Outside of it stood a large figure of Mago, his former teammate. The siblings were shocked, their eyes wide with disbelief. Gangyu wondered to himself, is this the twins' ability? But he quickly dismissed the thought. There was no way they could create such powerful defense magic. The realization dawned on him. Mago had cast the shield himself. But why? Undeterred, Gangyu pressed on, breaking through layer after layer of Mago's shield. Despite his relentless advance, a sense of unease gnawed at him as he destroyed the numerous barriers. His mind drifted back to a time when his team was still alive and together. Mago was playing with some village kids, laughing and carefree, while the rest of the team engaged in friendly banter. Mago called them over to join him, and everyone except Gangyu did. Mago approached Gangyu, asking, "Don't you like kids?" Gangyu replied, "I just don't know how to interact with them." Mago suggested, "Just do what you did with your parents." "My parents died when I was young. The only family I had left was my older brother," Gangyu responded. Mago, taken aback by the revelation, stuttered, "Why not try acting childishly with me?" Gangyu, shocked and disgusted, stared at him. Mago laughed, entertained by Gangyu's reaction, and said, "If things get tough for you, you can just act like a child with me." "I'll pass on that," Gangyu replied. His thoughts then shifted to the day his team died. Huang reveled in their suffering as his teammates lay dying. Gangyu, heartbroken and furious, wept tears of blood, his face contorted with rage and despair. With his last breath, Mago reached out, whispering, "It's all right. It'll be all right," with a smile on his face. Back in the present, with only one barrier left, Gangyu paused. He decided to release Jehwan from the cocoon and asked if she could use her psychometry superpower on Mago's shield. Jehwan agreed, revealing a miniature version of Mago and the twins. Gangyu, unfazed by their cuteness, told Jehwan, "It looks unpleasant. No matter what I see in the memories, I will still execute them." The memory led them to the twins, 6 years old, in a place they called Hell, an illegal auction of ability users. The illegal auction took place beneath a fallen city, a hidden world where the rich collected rare abilities as hobbies. Meal and Mile were sold into this cruel market by their own father. Special and physical types were the most coveted, while summoning abilities were so common they were considered cheap. To avoid being bought, the twins hid their true power. They were unsold for a long time. One day, a woman took an interest in them. When the auction staff inquired why, she simply replied that she was curious about what the offspring of an angel and a demon would be like. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the auction house. As the dust settled, it was revealed that the twins and others present were shielded by a familiar defense magic. It was Mago, accompanied by his bunny-eared assistant, Lipus. Mago was teaching Lipus, though she felt overwhelmed by his fast-paced lessons. Mago asked if Lipus had transported the auction participants and released the captives. She confirmed she had. Then Mile approached them, asking if the siblings could come along, explaining they were summoners too. Lipus, thinking Mago had promised her she would be his only assistant, gently rejected them. Mago, however, denied making such a promise. The twins demonstrated their summoning abilities, intriguing Mago with their angel and demon summons. He decided to take them in as his apprentices and teach them magic. Over 3 years, Mago taught them the art of summoning, emphasizing that imagination was everything. For Mile, he can summon angels because he remembers his mother's kindness. For Meal, she can summon demons, recalling their abusive father. Mago explained, "As you see more of the world, you'll be able to summon various things. It's okay to be interested in one thing, just like Lipus, who only likes summoning meteors." The twins were deeply interested in the concept of heaven and hell. Their mother had told them that kind people go to heaven and evil ones to hell. They clung to these words for support, dreaming of creating a world where good people go to heaven and evil ones to hell. Mago assured them they could achieve this, praising their inherent kindness. One day, Mago had to leave for Finland to defeat the villainous Swede. The twins, shocked and saddened, tried to convince him to let them come, but Mago refused, citing the danger. Before he left, Mago gifted them clothes bearing his symbol, a priest's garb for Meal and a nun's attire for Mile, so that any shelter would take them in. He promised they would meet again and made them vow to remain kind. However, without Mago's support and fearful of meeting new people due to their traumatic past, the twins isolated themselves in a remote forest, training their abilities alone. 2 years later, guided only by their minimal understanding and their mother's words, Meal and Mile returned to their hometown. They decided to create their own version of heaven and hell, which they called their utopia. In a quiet and picturesque town, the twin siblings Meal and Mile dreamed of creating their perfect utopia. Fueled by the lessons their mother taught them, values of honesty, respect, and harmony, they envisioned a world without deceit or discord. Innocent and young, they never realized that their idealism was both naive and dangerous. With the help of their summoned angel and demon troops, Meal and Mile began to judge the townspeople according to their mother's simple rules. The sudden and bizarre transformation of the town quickly caught the attention of the Heroes Association. At a meeting chaired by authority, a discussion ensued among the few third-tier heroes present. Banjo, ever ambitious, questioned the significance of the case, hoping for a promotion. Custa, intrigued by the young age of the twins, suggested raising them as potential allies, only to be dismissed by authority, who revealed that the twins were protégés of Mago. Amidst the discussion, a quiet hero named Tho, a summoner, volunteered to investigate the town. Arriving at the scene, she marveled at the sight of the captives floating with halos above their heads, a grotesque mockery of stars in the sky. Unfazed by the horror, they treated the surreal environment as if it were a spectacle, even posing for pictures with the angel and demon puppets. The twins, Meal and Mile, soon confronted Tho, demanding to know her purpose. Tho, instead of answering directly, expressed her fascination with the twins' abilities. Her casual demeanor unsettled the twins, who were confused by her behavior. When Tho revealed her connection to Mago, stating she was their senior, the twins were bewildered. They only knew of Lipus as their senior. Those mutterings about being forgotten by Mago triggered a dramatic shift in her demeanor. She recounted how Mago had forced her to train in defense magic, something she despised, before casting her aside. In a sudden fit of psychotic rage, Tho unleashed her true nature. Summoning a whirlwind of sharp objects, she massacred the remaining villagers, laughing and crying hysterically. Her twisted hope was that by creating such chaos, Mago would finally acknowledge her existence. The twins were flabbergasted as Tho laughed hysterically, her face contorted with a euphoric bliss. They released control of their angel and demon puppets, retreating to their room. From there, they watched Tho's rampage through a glass orb, unable to make sense of her madness. Tho was ecstatic, killing people left and right, reveling in the chaos. She wanted to kill more, but was stopped by the twins' defense magic. Meal tried to command his angel puppet to strike Tho from behind, but she sliced it apart in the blink of an eye. "This is a dream come true," Tho exclaimed, her eyes wild. "I've always wanted to use my ability in a crowded place, but I would have been sent to jail even as a hero. You too made this possible. Thor raised her hand to the sky, summoning a massive cutter that tore a rip in the heavens. Blood flowed from her eyes as she reveled in her strengthened power. She turned her attention to the twins, ready to strike them down. But before she could, Meal, realizing the terror of Thor's demonic nature, summoned the largest demon she could. The beast swallowed the whole. Meal trembled, unable to believe she had killed a person. Mile reassured her, saying, "It wasn't a human you killed, it was a demon." 1 year later, Meal and Mile had created an even bigger utopia and were now registered as basement level 2 villains. Mago was shocked to see them on the screen and confronted the chairman, demanding an explanation. The chairman revealed that he had called Mago to understand how this had happened. Mago, ready to spring into action, was stopped by the chairman, who reminded him of his failure to kill a Swede and declared that Mago wouldn't be assigned this case as punishment. As tensions rose, Rausa, a former third-tier hero, intervened. "I'll go," she said, "and I'll bring them back. Trust me." Rausa walked into the city now occupied by the twins. Watching her approach, Meal and Mile, traumatized by Thor's actions, questioned themselves about the sins Rausa might have committed, fearing another nightmare was about to begin. Rausa marched forward and found 3 heroes who had previously taken her current mission turned into puppets. Meal and Mile possessed them, confronting Rausa. "Who are you, and why are you here?" "I'm Rausa," she replied. "I've come to bring you back." Upon learning she was another hero, Meal summoned her army of demons. "Get out now." Rausa agreed, "as long as you both come back with me." The twins unleashed every creature they could, but Rausa cut them down effortlessly. She approached them, her heart heavy with sadness. "You have kind hearts. I don't feel any killing intent from you. If the heroes who came before had been good, this wouldn't have happened." Rausa reassured the twins. "Your teacher, Mago, is sad right now." Unable to believe it, Meal asked, "Is that true?" "I'm not lying. Release your abilities and come back with me to meet him." The twins felt an unfathomable warmth from Rausa. To their shock, Mago was waiting at the edge of the town. They ran to him, crying and apologizing for lying about being only summoners. Mago, confused, asked, "Who told you I only taken summoners?" "It was Thor," they replied. "She said she used to be your apprentice." Mago, shocked, explained, "I've only ever had 2 apprentices, you and Lipus. I never taught Thor. I only gave her advice." They shared their experiences from the years apart. The twins recounted how their efforts to be good children went unrecognized. As the twins slept under a tree, Mago asked Rausa if he could keep them. They didn't kill anyone, but they held people hostage and even killed a hero. These actions carry a death penalty, even for minors. At a young age, they strayed from the right path. "If you entrust them to me, I can teach them right from wrong." Rausa, understanding his plight but bound by the law, disagreed. The law is the law, and a hero's job isn't to rehabilitate criminals. Mago vehemently disagreed, but Rausa continued, "I feel what you feel. There are many problems in the world. Work with me to change it." Mago agreed, on the condition that the twins be spared until adulthood and he be allowed to use his abilities on them. Rausa agreed. Mago spoke hopefully, "We can change the world before they become adults, so they won't have to die." In the present, Gangyu was quiet, his mind drifting back to when Rausa had asked him to change the world with her. As Gangyu stood, Meal told him, "We only judged people by our rules, like society has done for centuries. What's the difference between us and the rest of the world?" Jehwan spoke up. "Kong Ho, his brother, and I were entrusted with the intensive rehabilitation of the twins. I don't believe they were wrong, but they need to understand what they did." Gangyu encased her inside a cocoon again, the area crackling with his ability. The twins, scared for their lives, pleaded, "We're wrong. Spare us." Gangyu poised to punch them, but instead, he punched the ground, his conflicting emotions evident as he gritted his teeth, blood pooling in his mouth. As he struggled with his emotions, laughter echoed through the room. The twins were suddenly cut into pieces by Sinka, who emerged from a portal. Her followers clapped as she approached Gangyu with a bouquet of flowers. "Thinking too much doesn't suit you," Sinka said, her voice playful. "You're more handsome in person." She smiled, saying, "Hi there, my husband. The bride has entered." As Sinka was about to introduce herself, Gangyu lunged at her, but Canis, her follower, blocked his fist and called him rude for interrupting. Sinka chastised Canis. "You're the one being rude to your future master." Canis apologized, and Sinka continued her introduction. Gangyu attacked again but was blocked by a wall that separated him from Sinka and her followers. "You're impatient," Sinka remarked. "I am the Eve of future mankind." Gangyu, mentally exhausted, couldn't process her words. "Eve," he repeated, bewildered. Sinka proclaimed herself the most sane person in the world, to which Canis and Gato agreed. She explained that mankind was degenerating and would soon be extinct. She argued that the real threat wasn't villains, but normal people without abilities. They needed to cull inferior genes to save humanity. She used Gangyu's team as an example, stating that their superior genes couldn't save them because they tried to stop the culling. She praised Gangyu for killing weaker humans, which made her fall in love with him. "Ruculus is a gathering spot for superior humans," Sinka said. "We'll build a world for people with strong abilities, an alpha world. Heroes who join us won't be rejected." Gangyu face-bombed as she spoke. When she finished, he said, "As much as I try not to kill anyone who isn't a criminal, it seems inevitable." Sinka misunderstood and became excited, thinking he meant they would be together. She declared them Adam and Eve, destined to lead mankind's evolution. She admitted she initially thought Huang would be Adam and had used an EMP attack to save him. This caught Gangyu's attention. Sinka explained that they customized an EMP attack from within the prison using her space manipulation ability. Since Huang was still underage, she decided Gangyu would lead beside her until Huang became an adult. Then, they'd pass on their superior genes. Gangyu, furious, asked if she really launched the EMP attack. Sinka, remembering that Gangyu lost his brother to Huang because of it, urged him to forget it and build a new family with her. Gangyu ripped apart Sinka's barrier with his bare hands, promising to make her death as painful as possible. Sinka, shocked but undeterred, winked at him, saying, "A lover's quarrel doesn't sound bad. We'll get to know each other more when we fight." Sinka cheered as Gangyu charged at her with immense energy. As he attempted to kill her with one strike, she blocked his attack with a portal, teleporting him high above the prison. She popped up, smirking, "Let's do this outside. Cool off your head first." Filled with murderous thoughts, Gangyu launched himself back to the floor where Sinka stood. Sinka admired his strength. He slashed and slashed, each time aiming to kill her but failing due to her irritating ability. "This is just like playing hide and seek," Sinka laughed, clearly entertained. Determined, Gangyu activated his Mode 1 attack, relentlessly pursuing her as she teleported around the area. He almost caught her when Gato jumped on his back, stopping him. Sinka scolded Gato, but before she could explain, Gangyu slammed her face into the ground repeatedly, pulverizing her body. Sinka and Canis watched cautiously, then Gato appeared behind Sinka, unharmed. "You would have died if I hadn't stopped him," Gato said to Sinka, whose face was full of disappointment. Sinka sighed, her followers urging her to make a decision since Gato lost one of her lives. Sinka lamented, "The genes I could have gotten from you." As Gangyu prepared his next attack, muttering, "Mode 5, Sinka used her ability, Multiple Dimensions, opening portals containing the remaining villains from the lower levels of the prison. "Say hi to the new mankind," Sinka announced. "They'll be in charge from now on." The scene showcased infamous villains with various identities and abilities, known for terrorizing countries, continents, and the world. Among them, Huang emerged with Aura, the only female villain on the 5th floor. Upon seeing Huang, Gangyu's power flared to dangerous heights. He uttered, "Mode 0, transforming into a person unrecognizable from the one seen in Chapter 1. He poised to attack Huang with his sharp claw. Huang, childlike and ecstatic, said, "Play with me again, Gangyu." Both Gangyu and Huang moved to strike each other, their different abilities flaring violently. They seemed evenly matched, their collision unleashing a terrifying roar across the prison and causing a massive shockwave. The officers, panicking, urged the warden to evacuate immediately. Flabbergasted, the warden hadn't expected things to escalate to this level. Mode 0, Gangyu looked more like a bloodthirsty beast than a human. The villains surrounding him, many captured by his team in the past, had never witnessed Gangyu in his battle mode. Hero, a villain with a humanoid yet robotic figure, now understood why Rausa had always prevented Gangyu from fighting. Terapir, an Egyptian-looking white-haired man, muttered to himself, "So this is what death looks like when it's manifested," upon seeing Gangyu's form. Some who saw Gangyu's appearance felt awe, others were jealous. Sinka, however, was sad. As Gangyu walked towards Huang, Huang felt nothing but joy, seeing that Gangyu had more to offer, making the fight even more enjoyable for him. Gangyu attacked again, but was pushed back by Huang's ability. Pressing on to attack again, Gangyu was suddenly suspended in motion as Huang condensed the space in front of him. Milady, an Amazonian-looking warrior, was amazed by Huang's display of power, noting that he's already this strong at his age. Just how much more of a monster will Huang become when he's an adult? She wondered. Joyful, Huang called out to Gangyu, knowing that his previous attack hadn't affected him much. Gangyu appeared suddenly and punched Huang's jaw, sending him flying back and spitting blood. Gangyu then attacked his stomach, causing more damage. Xingxi, the girl who kept saying Xing, and Tiburon, the three-eyed monster with a human figure, were amazed at the fight, calling it a battle between monsters. As soon as Tiburon finished his sentence, his and Xingxi's heads fell off from Gangyu's swift attack. Gangyu was about to do the same to a Swede, but a Swede used the defense magic he had stolen from Mago to protect himself. A Swede taunted, asking if Gangyu felt nostalgia seeing him use Mago's ability. In response, Gangyu broke through the shield, but before he could deal more damage, Hero kicked him to the side. Slowly standing up, each of Gangyu's actions was fueled by vengeance for his late teammates. Huang, seeing someone interrupt their fight, told them to stop, insisting Gangyu was supposed to play with him. However, Huang could sense that Gangyu was still holding back, possibly because of the prison officers. Realizing this, Huang decided to do something extraordinary. He created a hole above them using his ability, causing the entire prison to shake, even splitting the ground outside. Hyun, astonished, looked up to see the ceiling now had a massive hole because of Huang. The warden and the prison officers panicked visibly as the shaking intensified. Excitedly, Huang told Gangyu to go all out, urging him to play with everything he had.